Mrs. Homan here with another science review video. This one is on DNA. So DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. So this is an abbreviation of these two words. DNA is found in the nucleus of cells. It carries the genetic instructions for the development, functioning, growth, and reproduction of all known organisms. It is the heritable material passed from parent to offspring. So, DNA is usually found in the form of chromosomes. Chromosomes are made up of DNA wound around proteins called histones. So, chromosomes are then composed of genes. Genes are a segment of DNA that codes for a particular protein, which in turn codes for a trait. So we have genes like for hair color, eye color, height, etc. The trait being the hair color you get, brown, blonde, red, or eye color you get, blue, green, brown, and whatever height you end up being. Okay, so let's now talk about the shape of DNA. So the proper name for the shape of DNA is a double helix. So sometimes you may hear it referred to as a twisted ladder. So this is just a description. This is the proper name for DNA. So here is a model of DNA. So you can see this is like the sides of the ladder, okay? And these are like those rungs of the ladder in between. So sometimes we refer to these sides as the backbone of DNA. And again, you can see how it appears twisted, okay? So, the sides of the DNA ladder are made up of alternating sugar and phosphate molecules. And that sugar is called deoxyribose. So that's where part of that name comes from. So, deoxyribose, alternating deoxyribose, and phosphate molecules. Okay, that's the sides of that ladder. Inside, we have 4 types of nitrogen bases. And these are the rungs of that ladder. Okay, so we have 4 types. We have adenine, guanine, thymine, and cytosine. Now these 2 are what we call purines. And these 2 are what we call pyrimidines. Okay, so now, one of the most important things to remember about DNA is that adenine will always bond with thymine, and guanine will always bond with cytosine. So let's do a little example. So, for example, say we have a strand of DNA whose pattern is A, T, C, G, G, C, A, T, A. Okay? So, A will bond with T, T will bond with A, C will bond with G, G will bond with C, G again will bond with C, G, T, A, T. So these two are what are called complementary strands. Okay, so you will need to be able to identify which bonds with which. So now I'm going to show you guys a model so that we understand a little bit better about what this looks like. So this is a better model. This is a more detailed model. So here we have our alternating sugar phosphate backbone, okay? So alternating sugar and phosphate, and in the center here, we have our nitrogen bases. The orange here represents guanine. The green represents cytosine. Notice, no matter which side it's on in this DNA strand, the orange will always bond with the green. Then we have the red here is a thymine, and the gray is an adenine. And again, no matter where it is on here, the red and gray always pair together. Now, the last thing to mention here is along the center. Along the center, these two halves, these complementary strands, are held together by hydrogen bonds. Okay, and those hydrogen bonds can be separated, so these are loosely together. They can be separated so that the DNA can be replicated in interphase of both mitosis and meiosis. And the last thing I want to mention is that this DNA helix is actually made of repeating units called nucleotides. So that's kind of where the second part of this comes from. So a nucleotide consists of 3 molecules: a sugar, a phosphate, and one of those nitrogen bases. So we have a sugar, phosphate, and one of those nitrogen bases. So on each side, it's made up of those, and this is constantly repeating units of that. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day.